Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we break down local news, news from our state, news from our country, and we figure out what's going on in Puerto Vallarta to the best of our ability, so we can end up having a better quality life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. My name is Paco, and it's always a pleasure to welcome you here. Today is August 6th. It is Friday. Cue the Friday song. Yes, why not?
Thank God it's
There you go. It is Friday, and today, as always, we have an assortment of news, including, well, we have to talk about that damn parachute, and we will break the news with the parachute incident, because if you haven't heard about this, you will in a second. But before we do that, let me remind you that if this is the first time that you're joining us, we would love to welcome you, and we can do that if you add the word new to your comment so that we can give you a proper welcome. Also, if you have something that is really important that you wish to bring up during the broadcast, it helps a great deal if you add a letter Q at the beginning of your question or comment. That way, I'll make sure to go look for it when we look at all the comments and we have a conversation in the second half of the broadcast. First, of course, we're going to dive into our news, which include the aforementioned parachuter. Oh, Lord have mercy. We have news from the local health board. We have news about vaccines. We have news about the United Kingdom, and a couple of things that you may want to consider doing this weekend if you are in town and you feel like venturing outside and enjoying a little bit of what we can, of course, safely, wearing a mask, and of course, following all the sanitary guidelines. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let me very quickly take a look at the news with you, and we'll take it from there. Yes. There are important things, but we are leading with a parachute story because you probably already heard about it and would love more details. And if this is the first time you hear about it, well, a woman decided to go parasailing yesterday afternoon when the weather turned unexpectedly, and it did. I'll elaborate on that in a second. And all of a sudden, a gust of wind snapped the rope tethering the parachute to the boat that was pulling it. In a dark Mary Poppins kind of like twist, the parachute found itself on its own and headed towards Versailles with this woman hanging from it. And in Versailles, the tourist ended up perched on top of some electrical cables. Neighbors quickly went to her help, and she came out of the incident without major injuries. Scared shitless, of course, but she is okay. We have a video montage to share with you so that you can see a little bit of how this played out with lots of colorful metaphors.
Uy, valió madre los cables.
Oh, dude, if it snaps, look, dude, he's got to be scared as shit.
So
See
that's
everybody
when the cable
panicking.
snaps.
Damn, he's going. Oh shit! Holy fuck! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Se rompió el parachute, valió madre. A ver dónde cae la muchacha. Sí. Con que no caiga en un pinche cable no hay pedo.
And that's her heading to Versalles.
Uy, valió madre los cables.
And finally,
Mira
the
eso, corto esa
rescue
madre.
operation. She ended up on top of a transformer box. It is miraculous that there was no problem with the electrical cables. She only suffered a few scratches in her thighs and in her face, but thank God she is okay. But talk about a serious scare. And that happened yesterday, and it's really funny because yesterday I found myself thinking, well, I'm going to go for a walk, and by the time I decided I would go for a walk, the wind started gusting, and literally in a matter of 2 to 3 minutes, this is what I was looking at from my own home. At this point in the afternoon, obviously the parachute has already landed, but this is how the wind was blowing right at my apartment here in Colonia La Avena. It was nothing to laugh about, really, and of course, the weather remained sour through the whole afternoon, and I didn't end up going walking, so. Maybe I should announce that I'm going to go walking today because maybe we'll have another rainfall like that. It was a lot of rain, and luckily, again, this woman was not injured. And very much to our fortune, the weather cooled down considerably. It was a lovely evening. It rained all afternoon. And that was the parachute incident. And now moving on with our news. Let me take a look at what we have here. Of course, the local health board had their weekly meeting again yesterday. During the session, interim mayor Jorge Quintero proceeded to report on the latest developments of the pandemic here in Puerto Vallarta, highlighting the work his team has done to prevent further cases. In his presentation, for starters, we learn that the number of COVID cases in Puerto Vallarta continues to increase at a steady rate. This graph represents the number of weekly new cases in town. As you can see, the number has been increasing steadily and increasingly so over the past few weeks. The week of August 4th, we had 14,381 new cases in that week. The previous week, the week of the 29th of July, 12,849, and so forth and so on. There is no date in sight in which the numbers are going to start decreasing. And the only thing we can do about this, we know what we have to do, is take care of ourselves and follow the guidelines. We also learned, unfortunately, that the number of municipal employees with COVID-19 went from 195 to 245 in the last week. This particular article also features a table showing the different dependencies in which the cases are taking place, with the highest number of registered cases among the public service and the public security departments. Vaccination continues to be essential, of course, and today is the last day in which folks ages 50 to 59 can get their second AstraZeneca shot at La Lija. So if you are missing your second shot, there are still 6,000 doses left. La Lija will remain open until 4 p.m. or earlier if they run out of vaccines. So it is time to do what you need to do. It is time to show some Mexican courage. And just because we can, we're going to show Mexican courage again. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom has announced that Mexico is now on their so-called red list of countries with highest risk from COVID-19. Because of this, the UK is closing their borders to travelers arriving from Mexico until further notice. So if you were thinking West End for shows or theater or whatever brings you to the United Kingdom, you won't be able to head in that general direction, at least not in the near future. Now let's take a quick look at the weather and see what we can expect for this particular weekend. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the courageous Mexican man. Too funny. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Somebody asked me if I screamed like him, and the answer is no. Let's go to the weather. If I had written the Suicide Squad, I would have killed off every character in the movie except for the actual Suicide Squad, says our snarky weather. Needless to say, we need to get ourselves to the movie theaters, but not today. We will have some movie news in a little while, but first, let us focus on the fact that it is 27 degrees, feels like 30, humidity is at 92%, our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is at 80. And we can expect today more rain until morning. So I guess it rained this morning, with starting again in the evening. So it will rain this afternoon again. High temperature of 31, low temperature of 24. Tomorrow, Saturday, we can expect rain in the evening and overnight with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 24. And on Sunday, rain and humidity throughout the day, high temperature of 32, low temperature of 22, which is pretty much what we've been getting in the last few days. A couple of weeks ago, we mentioned this alternative market setting up at Plaza Caracol every Saturday of the month. I failed to mention that last week I found myself at Plaza Caracol on Saturday afternoon, and I could see that indeed, right around where Radio Shack is, there is a series of stands with vendors offering an odd yet interesting variety of artisan and organic products that you wouldn't ordinarily find in the supermarket. So if you find yourself grocery shopping this weekend, you may want to check this out tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. There is not a lot of stuff there, but it's definitely worth taking a look at if you are already out and about. And if you find yourselves in Mexico City or are planning on heading there soon, a scaled replica of the Templo Mayor, or main temple, is currently being erected or built at the Zócalo as part of the celebration of the 500th anniversary of the foundation of Tenochtitlan, the Aztec city over which Mexico City was built. When finished, the replica will be 16 meters tall and will be available for locals and visitors to enjoy as of, there's another shot showing it right in front of the not the basilica, the Templo Mayor, oh my God, the name of the church, help me, Mexicans, help me. Anyhow, this is going to be ready as of August 13. During the evenings, a video mapping show will take place, narrating the events that took place when the Mexica people founded the city. What is the name of the big church? It's that's not the basilica. It is the shit. Okay, I'll have to remember the name of the big church. It's in the back of my mind. The one that is sinking. Good Lord, I failed Mexico today. I failed Mexico because I can't remember the name of the darn church. But let's switch topics then. According to Vox, the summer box office has been worse than Hollywood hoped it would be, but there are still plenty of good movies to recommend. Currently showing at theaters. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Catedral Metropolitana. Thank you, Matthew. I knew it was something I should know, and I knew that somebody would come to my rescue. That would be the Metropolitan Cathedral. There it is once again. Thank you very much, Matthew. But back to where I was. No good movies right now. No good movies. At least not as many as Hollywood would have hoped for. The numbers are not looking good. However, Vox does recommend plenty of good movies currently showing at theaters or on streaming platforms. The list includes Annette, that new French musical film featuring Adam Driver and Marion Cotillard, and in which our own Mexico's Natalia Lafourcade did some singing, and this is all coming to theaters or streaming near us this month. Uh, and that's the news. That's the news that we have for you today. And now let me rewind our comments just to see what everybody is up to today. Let's see. Tucson's in the house. Minnesota's in the house. Lots of great people. Kathy is in Oakland. Oakland's in the house. Arlington, Virginia's in the house. Yelapa's in the house. Awesome. Awesome. It's great to see you all. It's always great to see familiar and new faces. Let's see if we have any important comments here. Um, yeah, what the hell happened with that parachute? Well, the parachute's probably destroyed, or it will take some serious crocheting, maybe some knitting, because all the ropes were tangled, and when the woman was being lowered from that post, the neighbors cut all the cables. I don't know if the parachute itself was destroyed or not, but it didn't look good, that's for sure. Ramona saw the news in Michigan. Yes, they went national here in Mexico. I saw them in national sources. um, now, John. It was windy, but not so much for the guy. Well, first of all, there was a gal, but no Guadalajara landing. That would have been very, very treacherous. Did I see it? No, I did not. I was sitting over there in the dining table, crocheting because I figured, well, if I'm not going to go for a walk and it's windy, I turned on some classical music and decided to hook, and that's what we did yesterday. We finished another necklace. What can we do? Let's see. Let's see. How far away from your house was the fallen woman, Paco? She was lucky to have escaped the rain. It would have probably taken me about 7 minutes to walk from where she landed. I understand that she was staying at the Hotel Benaventura. She was visiting from somewhere in Mexico, and that's what we know. And again, it's a good thing that she came out without any incident. I cannot begin to imagine what the guy that was running the motorboat must have felt when that rope snapped. Um, there you go. Logan confirms what I just said. It was one of those storms that came out of nowhere. Literally. And it was really funny because, I mean, I don't know if you happen to see in my video, there's a little food stand right across the street from my house. And the four people, they were caught completely off guard. They were trying to get all their stuff packed away before it started getting too crazy. Why are they calling it SARS-CoV-2? Glee Audrey, go to Wikipedia and you will find the answer to your question. Let's see what else. Kim tries to hold your hand, but seriously, Wikipedia has the whole interesting story of why it is SARS and why it is COVID and why it is COVID-19. So I don't know about SARS-CoV-2, but that's what Wikipedia is for. Let's see what else we have. Yay! I finally got my residency appointment at the Mexican consulate in Denver on September 9th. That is absolutely wonderful. Let's see what else. Oh, there you go. I bet that was Kathy, not Den. Den's wife, Kathy, is a nurse. SARS stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome. There you have it. Mexico is not having a good reputation right now. I have a girlfriend that needs to go to Scotland and can't because of the ban to Mexico. Otherwise, has to be quarantine landing and be in a special place for the 2 weeks. Yeah, well, it is happening. It is happening. Did I miss the weather? Yes, you did, Lynn, but that's what we rewind for. Let's see what else. Haha. Fluvial is here, but I have no important comments. Well, fine, be that way, Cindy. I don't have any important comments for you either, so we're on the same page. I love it. Um, what else do we have? Kimberly says, please send us your rain. We'll send a little bit of it, but we kind of like it. No, seriously though, I know that the rain situation is is um, is critical. So let's hope that is something that changes. But it's Mother Nature. She's the one that decides on these things. Um, in a few short weeks, the cruise will be arriving in Puerto Vallarta. I am a bit confused, Paco. Perhaps you know or have heard. All passengers will be tested and have to be negative in order to board. I heard the same thing. My question would be, after every port they visit, they are getting tested again before getting off in each port visited. Even at 70% filled of passengers, that is still a lot of people with over 14,000 in Vallarta with COVID already. I just wonder if it's too early to be entertaining this. Perhaps a vote? Well, I know that it is not up to us, that's for sure. I also know, because I've read, some of the finer details about these news, that there's been a lot of work being done to ensure that the people involved in handling or dealing with or interacting with passengers are well trained to follow very specific guidelines. I don't know the details, Michael, but you pose a very, very important scenario. I mean, if you are on a cruise ship and you get on land here in Puerto Vallarta, for example, and you have contact with a virus, I don't know how quickly that's going to show up in your body. Because I don't remember how long it takes between getting the bug and then it showing up in the tests. So it sounds crazy. It sounds preposterous. I would not want to get close to any of these people. I doubt that any of these people would want to get off their boat, off the cruise ship, but what do I know? All I can say, Michael, is that I hope that the people that are in charge know what they're doing, and they have to know what they're doing. I mean, I would be very, very surprised if Carnival, which is the first cruise line that is coming, is not keeping an eye on the local situations. I mean, I can imagine that the line is going to say to passengers, hey guys, you're on the boat. We've made sure that you've gotten really safe here, that you've presented your tests, so forth and so on. Get off the boat at your own risk, and we'll see what happens. Well, I won't see what happens because I will not want to get close to any of those people, nor would I want any of those people to get close to me. It is a bittersweet, complicated situation because I know that there are a lot of people that make a living working with people that come from those cruise ships. So it's one of those things. If the passengers get off the boat and follow the guidelines that are in place here, they will stand the same chance that you and I stand of getting the disease. Which means that if they take care of themselves like we are taking care of ourselves, I mean, they should be fine. It is going to be the well-intended but moronic tourist that chooses not to follow the guidelines that gets the bug and ruins everything for everybody else. I mean, that's my very, very unscientific take on what you're just saying. Let's see. Benny has some. Well, Logan first. Let's take a quick look at what you guys contributed to that. Aren't all cruise passengers also required to be fully vaccinated? That is a policy of Holland America Lines. Well, again, the first one that's coming is Carnival, and we read somewhere that all passengers and crew had to be vaccinated and test negative, or at least that's what I recall reading. Please correct me if I was wrong. Logan tells us that it's 10 to 14 days in average incubation period for someone to be tested positive after initial exposure. So this confirms the fact that if you went on a 7-day cruise and you come to Puerto Vallarta and you get the bug, you won't know this for a while. In fact, you may even end up doing the rest of your crew without incident, without knowing that you probably also spread the bug on the cruise ship. It sounds frightening to me. No cruise ships for me. I read that Carnival cruisers must be fully vaccinated, but they still need to mask up. Well, yes. And I agree with Heather. Hope and denial spring eternal. There is no such thing as safe right now, but the economic machine must chug along. And that is absolutely true. I mean, it's never been completely safe to do anything. It's never been completely safe to go out on the street because a bus might run over you or a comet might land on the earth and obliterate everything. It's all about levels of risk, and it's all about common sense, and it's all about keeping our comfort zone well taken care of. But the bottom line is we know what we're supposed to be doing. The Moronic Tourist. That is a good title for a book. There's a bunch of them out there, David. Don't get me started, because if you push my button, I'll get started talking about moronic tourists, and then I will not be very popular among that group. Moronic tourists. Ah, dear, we get so many of those. Anyhow, let's see. Blair is back from Querétaro. Oh, Blair is in Querétaro. Paco, I'm so happy you're so diligent in sharing info to help everyone stay safe during the pandemic. Thank you. Thank you back, Blair. I do it for myself, so I might as well do it for everybody or anybody that cares to be in the loop. That's how Coffee and Headlines got started, and that's what we've always been doing. So that's why we're here. All 116 of us. Oh, I'm sorry, 113. Some of you went out to do your laundry already. Fine, be that way. Last comment that I see, unless something really wonderful comes up in the near future. Cruises are Petri dishes. Everything spreads through them like wildfire, like Norwalk, for example, says Lena Stern. Lena, I agree with you. I've always wanted to do a cruise ship, but no, not right now. Maybe I'll be able to get it off my bucket list before I pass, but we don't know. We don't know when we're going to do this. So that's the news for today. That's the news that we have for today. I hope you will have a safe weekend, my friends. I hope you will continue to follow the guidelines. I hope you will continue to inspire your friends and family and loved ones to follow the guidelines. I hope you will avoid those, what did I call them? Those tourists, the moronic tourists. I hope you'll have the opportunity to avoid them. I know that some of our friends have to deal with tourists on a regular basis, and I know that there are wonderful tourists out there, and hopefully there are more wonderful tourists out there to make up for the few stupid ones. But Jesus, the moronic ones, we really don't want them here. I am feisty today, says Anna Sparks. I am always feisty. Or I try to be. Okay, some days I get a little bummed out. But enough about me. This is not about me. This is about what you need to be safe. And hopefully we are adding to that here at Coffee and Headlines. So, my friends, please stay kind, stay healthy, stay safe, stay careful, eat tacos, look after your friends and loved ones, and do random acts of kindness. And do positive things with and for the people around you upon which you can do good things. Because that is what ultimately helps us sleep better at night, in my little opinion. So, have a great day today. Do something wonderful with or for someone, and come back tomorrow and let us know all about it. Have an awesome day.